Hey guys, Wednesday. Well, gotta work on my bike today. Got that broken spoke from yesterday. Luckily, I have a bunch of spokes, and some of them are from when I broke a spoke on Dawn's bike, on her rear wheel as well, so it should be a perfect fit since we have the same bike. And, yeah. I gotta clean my bike up, I haven't been super concerned with it since the weather's always been slushy and wet outside. It's kind of like, what's the point in doing a big clean? But it should be nice over the next couple days, and it's just time. Plus, there's things like my kickstand is kind of loose, so should tighten that up. My bell hasn't been ringing properly, so gotta figure out whatever is wrong with that. Turns out it was just like moved over to the left and the bell was like touching that part of the throttle, so just needed to give it some more space, and now it's good again. And yeah, my tool thing fell off when I was carrying it. I'll fix that later. But as for the bike, give it a good brush to knock off all the loose dirt, as well as give it a spray down and wipe down most of the stuff. It looked pretty decent afterwards. But as for the actual repairs, pretty sure I'm gonna have to remove my wheel if I want to replace the spoke. And I haven't taken off this rear wheel before, which is a little bit different because it's got this wire that goes through the axle, which you have to be very careful to not break that wire. If that breaks, you pretty much need a new electric wheel. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be kind of expensive. So, trying to be gentle when I remove it, and I listened to everything and it's not dropping down. Kind of like, what is going on? So I was thinking maybe I could just replace the spoke by taking the nipple off of the broken spoke and then screwing it onto the new spoke, which I managed to do, but the new spoke is actually smaller than the old spokes, so this nipple will not fasten to it. I didn't really notice, but seeing them side by side, it's not gonna work. So I am gonna have to take off the wheel to replace the nipple as well. And looking up online, people say you might have to give it a bit of a hit if some of the nuts are like locked in place and like stuck in there. So I took it off the stand and like gave it a little drop on the ground, and it shook loose. Then I could really see that also the derailleur is in the way, so I'm gonna have to take that off, which isn't really a big deal. It's kind of a weird piece to put on and off because it kind of like needs to be under tension when you put it back on, but I got the wheel off finally, and I can actually start working on it. This is the dropout where you have to like be careful when you line it up to put it back in. And with the wheel out, I also gave the bike a bit of a clean, and it seemed like the ideal time to tighten up the kickstand. I already put like a pad of rubber under it, so it should be good. And now to let out the air so I can actually take off the tire and get the spoke out. I thought I would take off the tape, the rim tape, but I guess it's not sticky all the way around. It's just like the valve stem part, so kind of just moved it to the side and pulled out the old spoke, and then putting in the new spoke, I wanted to have it threaded so I wouldn't lose the nipple into like the gap of the rim, which happened to me once before. But I noticed that you can just put it upside down on a different spoke. That way you're not going to lose that to any weird gaps, and you can kind of hold it in position when you line up the replacement spoke. And that worked out pretty well. Gave it a good tighten, and It kind of feels like it matches the other spokes. But, you know, I don't have a truing stand or anything. You know, truing the wheels isn't as important with, when you have rim brakes. With the disc brakes, it's, you know, as long as the disc is good, it doesn't need to be super true. So, I think it'll be alright. Now putting the wheel back on is a bit of a pain. I tried to do it in the stand, which is like you have to lift up the wheel and like line it up perfectly. And the wheel's kind of heavy. Feels like at least 10 or 15 pounds, so that was really hard to do. So I had to put my bike upside down to do it, which I don't like doing, but oh well. And yeah, got the derailleur back on there, and the chain on there. Everything is looking pretty decent. Mechanically, everything is working. And I don't notice anything being super out of true. I mean, they're probably not perfect, but what are you gonna do, you know? So I got the wires plugged back in and stuff, and I think we're good. Spoke still feels pretty decent, and decided to also wipe down the chain and stuff. I bought a new bicycle lubricant, a dry lubricant. You know, they usually recommend a dry lubricant, so sand and dirt and stuff won't stick to it as much as, like, you know, I usually just use like a car oil of some kind, just because you can buy so much more of it for like the same price. But it's wet, so I don't know. You know, since this is a new bike, I figured I might as well try it out. And yeah, organizing my tools again a little bit. Since there's so much space in this organizer, I was kind of thinking maybe I should just put 2 wrenches in each pocket. It's kind of nicer like that, and it could hold more things, but I'd have to sew them to be a little bit different, and you know, still have my wrenches accessible. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. But for now, I just put everything in the bucket pretty much. And yeah, gotta do a test ride. Put the battery back in. And yeah, test ride went alright. I didn't go very far, but didn't hear too much creaking from the new spoke. A little bit, but hopefully I'll ride it around, maybe give it another tighten or so, but for the most part, looking good. Yeah. The kickstand also feels great again. Now it's tightened up. And yeah, bell working. Always good to have a working bell. Oh yeah, I heard the cry of a red-tailed hawk. And the clouds really cleared out. Neat. Yeah, today's actually the warmest February 15th that Toronto has on record. So that's kind of neat. Rainbow came by in the afternoon. I guess I could have done some Uber, but I was feeling pretty tired after working on my bike. That took like 3 hours, I think. But it'll be worth it, you know? Yeah. Later, guys.